Tonight, ain't drunk. And
You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
The potato peelings in the sink did not turn into vodka as I had hoped. I only start to need a drink after the liquor stores have closed. I heard you changed your name again, but don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la.
Better now than never. We are in Pensacola, Florida, somewhere on this last Gasp tour that is interminable. It's I thought we were doing 25 shows. It turns out we're doing like 32 or 33. Maybe it's a 6-week tour. I don't know. We're right in the middle somewhere. This is our first night off after a 8-city run with no breaks, just driving every day. Last night in Pensacola, we almost got fucking killed in a darkened parking lot by the gig. We're a lot of these places we play, you going, it's the choice of, hey, you can take that night off or play this shithole. This is one we played last time we did a Southeast tour in Pensacola, the Handlebar. It's a beautiful shithole. I'd drink there. Most people would be mortified to play there or even walk in there. I was fine with it. This time was better than last, but still, so it's Sunday night, and we go down onto the gig, and we park in a parking lot. Mobile green room means I sit in a van while I'm just here with Greg Chaley, my tour manager, and he goes in and starts off the show and gets the locals cranked up and telling jokes, and then comes back out to find me in the van where I have my own little mini bar sitting there with tinted windows.
At a moment's notice, we are ready for the mobile green room.
Right.
You have we sold one on the eBay garage sale, one of the travel things. You have one. It's not a big deal. It's
I sit there and with a lot of these places don't have a green room. If they do, it's some fucking mop closet that they've cleaned out and forced a recliner into. And go, oh yeah, we have a green room. This is not a green room. We don't really use it much. Which is fine. We adapt. That's what we do on these tours. I enjoy when I call your fucking bar a shithole. I know what I'm doing. It's not like I came in expecting that this was a fucking 1,500 seat Egyptian theater and now it's this fucking Quonset hut with no air conditioning. I know that. I'm just saying we're prepared. So I'm sitting in some fucking dark parking lot a block away. Pensacola is not the prettiest fucking place on earth. In fact, after we were nearly fucking murdered by two fat fucking, I hate to say tweaker.
Doughy street toughs.
Street tough. I like that. Yeah, because you want to say tweaker because they have all the earmarks, but he was fat. Not fat, but he was a man-titted, young, tough, hoodlum, street urchin dude with his friend fucked up in a wife beater with fucking patchwork tattoos that look like they were applied with a paintball gun from a distance because they have no symmetry. That's all I could see. It was fairly dark.
Shot through a screen.
You see is fat, man-tit, white wife beater, young, scruffy, shaggy, Scooby-Doo fucking facial hair. But he
and parked in the bushes, by the way.
I didn't have that angle. Let me explain. We're in a strip mall, flat
like a doctor's
strip mall.
Office or
doctor's office strip mall. Good way to describe it.
On the slow turn of the railroad tracks.
Right.
So it doesn't look good to begin with.
It's very fucking sketchy. And we had already dismissed the other parking lot because there was fucking too sketchy. The black and white dude carrying plastic bags of stuff, but they were wandering around cars, and we go, yeah, let's not park here. And then that one looks safe.
I thought they were doing the gas can scam where they've got something that looks like it can hold gasoline. You know, like, hey, just ran out of gas. It's like, there's not a gas
They
station.
just seem to be going car to car in another dark parking lot. So we thought we'd go to the safe one.
The safer of the two options.
So I sat in the car for a while. Chaley comes back. Hey, the show's started. So I go to make one last. We're in a no alcohol, no liquor venue. Beer and wine only. So I'm like, fuck. So I got my Delta Always Be Branding, sponsored by Delta, fucking diamond medallion right here. I got my Delta travel mug. I'm filling it full of a liquor drink, a vodka soda, and I'm leaning in the back door of the van. Chaley's grabbing the merch out of the back in a roller bag. So I'm leaning inside the door. People come up to the back of the van where he's just pulled the merch out, and these two fucking jerk-offs, I didn't see the other one. I could only see the one. And I jacked you up for money. How did it start? Because
it was like, hey man, but it was like straight into the pitch, and it was like, hey man, you got like $5, man.
I heard I'm out of gas.
We're out of gas, and I'm like, no man, I'm headed to work, and I'm pretty sure that they never saw you. Because I never alluded to you.
Which is weird because the van is lit up. It's dark outside now, and I'm in a door. The van's lit up where I'm, like, my ass is hanging out. I'm pouring a drink, trying to be sneaky. But there's no way any fucking sober, rational person could not have noticed that there's someone else.
Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you've got that tunnel vision, I'm going to knife this guy, or this might get into some. I mean, they were obviously... They weren't.
They were fucked.
Yeah,
but
they were fucked. So they probably just weren't paying attention to their surroundings.
They weren't like slurring drunk to the point where you go, I could take this guy.
They call it desperate. I think that's what they were.
But he immediately, whatever he said, he immediately turned on you, and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm just trying to fucking." And you said, "Hey, I'm just going to work, man."
And then he said,
"Take me to work."
Hey, you got a job for me? It's like,
yeah.
We're not
Take
hiring.
Me to work.
At 8:45, we're not hiring. You have to come back in the morning.
Well, occasionally I've seen Chaley's social skills at times, where you go, oh, did Chaley just have that look on his face and say something fucked up to someone?
If I'm Kurt, it's because time is of the essence.
And you know what? You're not wrong. No. And you wouldn't have been wrong, except... yeah, the guy just went, fuck you. I'm just trying to fucking, I'm hungry and I need fucking food. I'm going to fuck you up. I'll fuck you up. And it escalated in such a minute fraction of time to, you fucking go ahead, look at me one more time.
See, that's where I don't think you saw what was going on, because you played it smart. You were like in a Jurassic Park where the Tyrannosaurus Rex leans down. Don't move. They base everything on movement.
I didn't move.
You didn't.
I was standing with my head inside the car, pouring a drink, and I still continued to make sure I had poured my travel mug full before I started looking for a weapon.
If nothing else, your priorities are set.
Yes. I had my drink, and we've our day off, we empty out the van. So anything that might be a weapon is gone. I have a plastic tray that I stole from Wendy's so I can eat a baked potato on my lap while we drive. That's not doing any good. But the travel bar hand case, it's like a little mini, not suitcase, but a handbag of
an executive
a
bar is what they call it.
Yes, if you want to Google it. But it's old-fashioned-y, and it has this old-fashioned can opener, the pointy kind that if you had an old can of tomato juice that you had to put 2 puncture holes. So I got that. So I get that in my hand, waiting for and he's like, just fucking walk away. And if you look back, and now he's looking at our tag on
it's the second guy that's yelling. That's what you didn't understand. The doughy white guy,
yeah,
he was much taller, and he was the one who started rolling towards me. And that's when I started taking the roller bag and moving away from our car. And he said, don't look at my fucking tags. Don't go be looking at my tags. Like I was going to, like, there's no amount of threat coming from me. Yeah. And I'm walking away in my goofy suit with my T-shirts.
You quote, hey, I don't want any trouble, man. That was fucking...
And then I went out on the sidewalk, and I don't know why, but because I couldn't leave because I didn't know if they knew you were there, but I figured they saw you, so I was just waiting for you to finish mixing your drink so we get the fuck out of there. And they kept yelling, and then they threatened to take our tag down.
They said, "Now I got your tag."
For I don't know if it was a tag.
I don't. What was the other guy like? I didn't even see the other guy.
He was a dark skinned guy. I couldn't tell really because
It wasn't the same black and white guy that we saw with the bags. All right.
no. He might have been Hispanic, but I mean, really, I didn't really think of it as threatening until it. I mean, it went to 0 to 60. Really
Oh yeah,
quick.
no, because
And
as you're
yeah.
walking away, he's like, "Turn around one more time." He
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah,
fight
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point.
Yeah, it was quite a way to start a show.
Yeah. So then they sped off, and
Well, even speeding off, I don't know that they're not coming back or they're not going
Exactly.
to turn right around. And
that's what I said. Well, we got to move the fucking car to another third spot,
just because they don't have enough money for gas doesn't mean they don't have enough money for a bullet or two.
or enough money for a fucking plastic garden hose that they stole out of someone's backyard and siphon our tank.
I mean, I'm sure they could have shown us how to make a Wendy's tray a weapon.
Yeah, it was. It was scary. It was one of those times where you go, "Oh fuck." Normally, I'm surrounded by a crowd that gives me safety. Like today, how you replay the fight that you had to slink away from, or hide in the back seat, or walk away with a roller bag, and you go, "Fuck." And I thought, wow, you know what? I should have gone. You want a job? Come with me. Fuck that guy. Come with me. And then brought him to the fucking gig and go, "Hey, how tough are you now?" My fucking audience here. Yeah, we might be fucking. Yeah, you get 70 of us in a room full of the hate that we carry.
Nah, there's no way that. I think
I
it
know.
ended the best way it could have ended last night by us tucking
Of
tail.
course,
and
that's
those-
the best way in theory, but in your
Oh,
head
yeah,
when
yeah.
you're fantasizing that laws don't apply to you and then some vigilante justice could have been done and you could have heard a pin drop when Tommy stopped and locked the door and that guy thought he had a job and he got a fucking ass pummeling inside the handlebar and no one had a cell phone camera. That's a great fantasy, but in real life, it's best to just go, "Hey, I don't want any trouble." Wow, now the fucking rain's really coming down. If that becomes an audio issue, you let me know. So, so that's how the whole thing started.
It was the start of the show.
Usually, generally the problems start after the show at the merch booth. I don't think we haven't had anyone like violently removed this trip that I remember.
No, have we talked about the Albany incident?
Yeah, I'm sure we have. Yes, I'm.
I know we've done podcasts about it. We just didn't put them out.
Oh, are you sure?
No, I'm not.
All right.
Ooh.
Because I have no memory. I don't listen to these fucking things. I said them. Why would I hear it again?
The Albany incident is memorable. So if we haven't told it, then I think we should.
I had to open a show. We had to have talked about it. Rob Dukes was there that night. Oh, no, that was a different
Yeah.
night. All right. Junior Stopka was on stage in Albany at Valentine's. Is that right?
Yep.
And he was on stage, and someone heckled Junior to the point of the inflappable Junior became flappable and went like, "Fuck you," and just left the stage. And the guy had been heckling so much that instead of working on my act like I do for the 4 or 5 minutes before I go on stage, that's the amount of effort I put into a show, and he ruined it. Now I just want to kill this guy who keeps fucking with Junior.
Look-
So I opened the show by throwing him out. I go, "This is the weirdest opening. I was working on my set. Didn't have this in mind, but yeah, you're fucking leaving." And I've made people point that cunt guy out.
I think it was more, I'm not starting this show until this guy gets thrown out. DJ, turn up that song, which I think was Whamma Jamma.
Oh, yeah, it was Whamma Jamma by
Yeah.
Jay Giles. Fucking Magic Dick. That was a great... So I'm just... Well, first I had to find the guy.
Oh, he was easy to find.
Yeah.
But he wasn't budging, and he was like, hey, I'm not starting this show.
But they didn't have any security to speak of. So I'm trying to make him throw himself out, and then there's no security. So I went, hey, Rob Dukes is here. He's the fucking lead singer of Exodus. He's a scary looking motherfucker.
And Generation Kill.
So I go, now you're getting a celebrity ejection.
And you
I made Rob Dukes chuck the guy out.
and Whamma Jamma is still going on, and you and Junior are linking elbows and do-si-doing on the
dancing
stage.
like a motherfucker. I'm not a nimble guy, but that song loud makes me want to dance. It was not a quick removal. It was like a 3-4 minute, which in stage time is a long time. And then down the stairs, and then you hear the kerfuffle from downstairs. Then he throws a cinder block through the front window of the downstairs door.
Ran at the glass, like a glass entry door into a regular business, ran at it and kicked it, and it didn't do anything. And then his two buddies pulled him off, and we thought they were gone. He broke away, and it was about a 10-foot just running right for the door, shattered the glass, so much so that the manager who was standing on the inside next to me, there was an outline of him of no glass. It shattered like just little tiny little squares of safety glass.
I swear we've talked about this on the fucking podcast.
No, we have. We just never put it out.
All right. Well, either way.
Still a good story.
Still, there was nothing like that happened so far on this tour, which is a big jinx going into Tallahassee, where I've never had one person that I can ever remember ever in my 23 years email and say, hey, you should play Tallahassee. No one has ever tweeted about Tallahassee. We've had it booked, and not one tweet or Facebook message saying, hey, can't wait for the Tallahassee show. That might be maybe it's better if no one shows up. I don't mind those shows. But the merch booth is where the problems are. So we're going to talk about merch booth etiquette for a while.
Well, meaning like after the show when you come up. Is that what you're talking about?
After the show.
Yeah.
Merch is a necessary evil. If you want me to play these fucking horrible little towns, I like doing it, but I'm not doing it without Greg Chaley. I can't be the guy that's a tour manager. Bingo just gave me a dirty look. Like, no, I'm saying I wouldn't do it without Greg Chaley. I'm not saying that I don't want you here, Bingo. I can't deal. There's so much bullshit that goes with playing these little bars and getting fucking paid. You're getting drunk, and then you have to worry about pay. And now I'm gonna set up my own merch or not sell merch and drive my. I need a guy. If I'm gonna do these tours, I need Greg Chaley, and Greg Chaley gets paid because we sell merch, and so it's a necessary evil. Yet there's nothing harder than walking off stage, having enough time to fucking have a cigarette and, catch your breath. It's like coming out of a fist fight and going into an election year where I'm shaking hands and kissing babies. And it's horrible.
You really only get maybe at the most 10 minutes before you go back to the merch booth after doing an entire
and
hour
that's
20.
usually when you send Bingo to the green room going, hey, I need them out here. People are waiting. They got fucking stolen Bibles. By the way, we're still selling the stolen Bibles, and goodness are they a hot ticket. We steal the Bibles out of our hotel rooms, and they're a top dollar item. And I'm a fucking such a stickler for they have to legitimately be stolen, but we try to steal extras. We'll definitely have 2 from the hotel, but I wake up angry anyway, so I'll just march into whatever room the fucking maid is making up and go, I'm sorry, I forgot my Bible. I'll just grab it. And they don't, it's too quick for them to ask questions, nor are they in a position to go, well, who are you? Did you stay in this room? I just walk in, sorry, I forgot my Bible, and I grab it, and I leave. But they're all legitimately stolen. We don't fucking buy Bibles.
No, we've found sources where we could have gotten them before.
I'll bartend before I fucking pull a scam. Anyway, yeah, so a lot of this is my fault. When I'm fucking yelling at you, I know that you're drunks. I attract you. I'm a drunk, so I get drunks at the fucking merch booth. Joe Rogan, I've seen where he sets up a beautiful line after the show. He's got velvet ropes. He spends a fucking minute with you. He signs your thing. He takes a photograph, and you move on. Because he has fucking sober people that come to his show that have some modicum of decorum.
Nice.
No, not my people. So it's just fucking chaos. It's not a goddamn confessional. Remember, I hate being there. It's completely awkward and foreign to me to be out there and glad handing a million people and trying to be polite enough that the line moves, yet fucking have enough. Yeah, get the fuck. Okay, I'm not here to hear your story about how you lost your foot on a railroad track and can you call my brother Timmy? He was fucking supposed to come to the show. Just, I'll smile and take a picture. Know how to use your fucking camera. Every comic has probably tweeted this 10,000 times. By the time you get there, yes, you can take a picture. That's why I'm standing there. I'd prefer if you didn't need one. I love you way better than the guy who only wants one because he saw everyone else taking one.
Yeah.
If you didn't get in line to get a picture, don't fucking take a picture. I'm ugly. You don't want to... And plus, when you show that picture to people, then you're going to have to spend that extra amount of time explaining to people who the fuck I am, because only you know me. Those friends would have been with you.
They would have been next to you in the picture.
Yes, exactly. So, but the fucking drunkest people. New Orleans was the worst on this one.
At the Howlin' Wolf.
Howlin' Wolf.
Howlin' Wolf.
Normally, we used to play the
One-Eyed
Jacks. One-Eyed Jacks, which is a great club, but notoriously, every single show I did there was a drunken fucking nightmare of people screaming. The entire show was the merch booth. So this time we did it. They had, kind of folding chair, theater-ish seating. Not theater.
3/4 of the people were seated.
The theater, children's recital, like
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
school.
It's a large venue. It's a music venue. You could probably put 2.5 One-Eyed Jacks in there. It's
It's
a
great
huge facility.
But yeah, everyone was seated, and they're not sitting around a bar, so there's no chaos. Fine show, but then at the end, there was, and I have to make sure I specify, because there were two poets at that show, two lady poets. One lady came up and said, here's my book. It's poetry. And I go, well, thank you very much. Who doesn't like poetry? And then I waited till she left to say, me. I don't like poetry. But she wasn't rude at all.
Yeah.
And you know what? I kept the book and I put it in the back seat of the van for Bingo because they're short poems. I flipped through it and they're short, a few lines. And Bingo's not a big reader, but she can get through a few lines when she's in the back seat and bored. Then the second woman, who kept trying to fucking jam her way in. There's a fucking line. Like, even my unruly, chaos, anarchy audience that can't form a line, formed a line out of their own fucking, no velvet ropes, out of some sense of decency that 80% of you have. Formed a line, and this fucking cunt just kept jamming up out of line.
In front of all the people. Now, you don't have to pay anything to get a picture or anything with you, so it's not about that. But the people that were in line had bought merchandise and were waiting, and she just jammed her way right to the front. Once again, we don't have
with
velvet
her
ropes.
vaguely effeminate husband.
Yes.
And she said, I need to tell you something. Would you indulge me? And I go, I'm not here to be indulging. And this is like day 6 of no break, 6 towns and 7-hour drives. And no, I'm here. I'll talk to you at the bar. If I can get done with the merch, I can sit down and have a drink like a normal guy. And you can tell me your dumb story. But... And she goes, whatever. And she walks away, and then halfway through, her husband, my wife, she has a poem she wants to tell. Would you indulge her? And I go, oh, now I know who it is, because you keep saying indulge.
Oh,
which,
but
if you fucked her, it would feel like indulging.
when she finally came up, the guy you were talking to stood in line, waited, was taking a picture, and he said that your bit on mother's suicide helped him get through his grandparents' suicide.
His grandparents had committed a double suicide, and he's telling a really heartfelt.
And you're like, I got 1 minute with this guy, but this is something you want to like. Look, I'll do this.
I turned to her. I go, "Oh, I'm sorry." She goes, "Would you indulge me?" I go, "I'm sorry. He was just talking about his grandparents committed a double suicide and how my act helped him through it. But you wanted to interrupt with what?" And she goes, but then kept right on going with her dumb fuck. Well, first there was the dentist. First, I wanted to mention because it's not all fucking bad people. We've had good people. This is not the doctor that was in what town was that in?
I'll look it up.
Chaley had a fucked up tooth on this tour. I'm coming apart. I got a hernia that's blowing out of me. I got this chalation on my eye. When it started, it's like a fucking. You look it up if you can spell chalation. Wherever, it doesn't matter where we were. Chaley's running around scrambling for notes to get all this accurate. No one gives a shit. Yeah, so I was bitching about this giant lump growth on my eye, and a doctor at one of the shows said, "Hey, I'm a ER Chattanooga." It was the first show.
Second show was Vaudeville Cafe, and where's the doctor?
All right.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's Asheville. No, that's not
it was
Asheville.
Chattanooga. It's Vaudeville Cafe.
Okay.
It was that dinner theater you played. It was the dinner theater.
All right. Either way, yeah. He came up and said, "Hey, I'm an ER doctor. That's probably a chalation," as he confirmed my Google diagnosis and said, "Hey, I can get you some antibiotics." Anyway, that's fucking great. Like, that's a guy. And he didn't hang around. He wasn't drunk and get me in a headlock going, "Oh, fucking 69 my wife for a picture." He's like, "Hey, I can do this quick, and I'll see you at another show in Atlanta." Great. New Orleans, before the fucking poets came, there's a drunk fucking dentist going, and probably because I had tweeted that Chaley had a fucking tooth problem. Turns out he got a fucking 30-minute root canal, no waiting. We'll see how that turns out. The quality of that project should be like, oh yeah, Bar Rescue's gonna fucking fix your bar in 48 hours. I'm sure that fucking drywall will hang for a long time.
Well, it's supposed to be the first step in 3 of the root canal.
All right.
I have to get the rest done.
Either way, this dentist came up before the poet lady. He's like, he's shit-faced. To be fair, we were there during French Quarter Festival. So it's a Friday night festival, New Orleans. A lot of people are really drunk.
Very drunk.
But this guy was from Dallas, and he's like, "I'm a dentist, and I'll do any dental work you need for free." And I'm like, that wasn't me. That was Chaley, and he already got it taken care of. He's like, "No, I'll do it for free for you." And I'm like, "I don't need dental work." He goes, "You've come to Dallas. I'm going to be at your show. I'm a dentist. I'll do it." And there's only so many times you can realize a guy's too drunk to listen, and he's just going to say the same shit. And you're already on edge. You don't want to be at the merch booth. You want to be at the bar. And he's not listening. He's just... So I get rid of that guy. Then the girl finally comes at the end of the merch line. There's a few, 2-3 people left. And she's like, "Now you're going to listen to my poem." And I'm like, "I don't want to hear your fucking poem. I hate poetry. Do you not listen to my set? I have a whole bit about chicks and She's like, "No, listen to me." And she gets like right up in my face like she's hauntingly sexual and intimidating, where she's just a fat bore. And she goes, "Listen, it's called Fingering a Gunshot Wound." As though, oh, now you captured me with the title. And I go, "I don't care what it's called." And she starts poking me in the chest, and as I'm backing up, advancing on me, tapping my chest to the cadence of this dumb poem. And I'm like, this is awful. This is garbage. Fucking poetry's not even fucking art. It's rap without fucking being able to steal a fucking, what do you call
Clever
that?
hook.
Yeah, the hook. And then, so she won't stop. And I'm like, I'm mentally broken down with so many drunken assholes that I'm like, I don't want it. And I just started running. By now, they've collected up all the folding chairs out of the room. So it's just a big, bare fucking ballroom. And I just started running, and she started chasing me. So I'm running Three Stooges style, juking back and forth because she's a fatty, and trying to get her to slip in the water and going, oh, don't slip in that water, fatty. Yeah, we're going to work off some of those pounds. And I'm running, and I'm not a runner.
No.
Like, I'm winding myself, and she's staying on my heels. And then, like the fucking Walking Dead, the giant fucking drunk dentist guy starts humping over like fucking
Lurch from the Adams
Frankenstein.
family.
Yeah, and he's just yelling, I'll do free dental work. Where's my $2 or whatever? In my head, I just have this image of this fat woman, serpentine, trying to chase me, and then the fucking Frankenstein guy. And there's no one else except for like three guys at the merch booth.
We were watching you, and I kept hearing the Benny Hill theme go.
So I just juked through the fucking emergency exit into the green room, and I had to hold the door shut. And then evidently the three guys that I fucked off at the merch booth, like, went at her saying, we're not going to get a fucking autograph because of that cunt.
Yeah, I go. I just wrapped it up. I go, look, we're gone. Look. Some chick is chasing Doug around the venue. Merch is closed. We're done. And then that's when I guess she came back, and her effeminate husband and her were starting to walk out, and the guys that were standing there were just like, what a fucking bitch, man. She's totally ruined it. You know, she made Doug leave, which is really, that was it. She was just a pain in the ass. It was about over.
There was a fucking issue with you where...
No, the guy heard someone call his wife a bitch, and he came right to me.
Would you call my wife?
Would you call my wife? And I'm like putting merch away. And those guys let me swing in the wind on that one. I'm all, dude, I didn't say nothing. I'm putting away merch. And then as he's leaving, he looks at me and goes, you look like you got a small dick. And the three guys that were standing there, like, still kind of pissed they didn't get an autograph or anything from Doug. They're like, that is like the gayest thing I've ever... That guy just sized up Shaylee as having a small dick. Have you heard anything gayer? And they're sitting there drinking beer, like, discussing how gay this was, that this guy was like, you look like you got a small dick. It was just...
And don't think for a second that has not become a refrain since then, where just anything comes up, and you go, that sounds like something a guy with a small dick would say.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about being as gay as I possibly can.
I'm so glad that we can continue to remember her and her presence at the merch booth.
Yeah, so there's merch booth etiquette. Figure out how to use your camera ahead of time. The guy behind you in line will gladly take the picture for you. And
you might not think you need a flash.
Yeah, make sure your flash is on. Take pictures of each other while you're standing in line.
Meet the person in front of you or behind you, and make that agreement before you get up
You know
there.
what? My fans all fucking seem to hate each other. I get so many fucking remarks on the Twitters and the Facebooks. By the way, I'll say that later. But yeah, no, I put shit on Facebook tonight. I said, hey, if you have any questions or things that need to be addressed for the podcast tonight, and I put that on my Facebook goes to my Twitter. I check Twitter first because it's expedient. I look at Facebook comments, and most of it is just dog shit, jokes, people talking to each other. And I if I have to go to Facebook, I will. But I'm on Twitter. Try that. But yeah. Know how to use your camera.
We take cash or credit. I mean, the longer they stand in line, I can just
don't
bitch
cut. And be
come
nice and
on.
be quick. So
we all know where the line begins and where the line ends.
Fucking miss the days where you could do a show and then actually hang out with a few people. You can't do it anymore. It's just I can't hang out. People say, hey, I fucking love the fact that you say, hey, do you want to fucking go out for a beer after go to this place or something? You can't make those kind of decisions anymore.
Yeah.
There's too many. I can't go out with fucking 45 people to a bar. It just doesn't work.
There's no way to just slip in with 45 people.
Right.
You end up, and then it ends up being like that place in Savannah, that really fucking kick-ass speakeasy.
Oh, that was wicked good.
Better than the gig.
We're sponsored by. I don't want you to look it up.
It's Mata Hari's hat.
Mata Hari's hat in Savannah, Georgia. It's a private club.
You don't know where it's at?
Old speakeasy. We're sponsored. This podcast sponsored by Mata Hari's hat.
That place is
In
great.
Savannah, Georgia. If you don't know, well, then fucking be cooler. Someone will find you and say, hey, you want to be a member? And also the Underbelly in Jacksonville. Last time we did this tour about 18 months ago, I'd scored some great fucking
It was in Asheville.
Asheville, it was a costume shop where I scored some great coats, and I had this one red tails jacket that I wore for the first time in Jacksonville, and then I ended up getting shit-faced after the show, or probably during the show, but after the show they had a band. No one's in there, and I was in there probably like one of 5 people, and the band was so incredible to my drunken head. And I decided, fuck this jacket. I don't need this. That lead singer he's not dressed up at all. He should have this jacket, this fucking tuxedo tails. And I threw it at him on stage, and I left. And in the morning, I woke up and thought, that was the greatest fucking jacket. I can't believe I gave away that jacket. And Bingo would never let me forget it. Yeah, you fucking asshole. You gave that jacket away. So when I was doing an interview for Jacksonville this time, the guy said, well, so do you have any memories of Jacksonville that stand out that you want to talk about for the local? And I go, yeah, I was shit-faced. I threw this great red tuxedo jacket at the band, and I don't even know who they are. And I want that. I just wish I never gave away that jacket. And the guy goes, I know who has that jacket. The owner of the club still has that jacket. He occasionally wears it out. I'm going, get that jacket back for me. I don't care if people show up for the show. I just want that fucking jacket. And he had it, and he gave it back. So the Underbelly in Jacksonville, you want quality people, a quality cocktail? Yes, go to the Underbelly in downtown Jacksonville.
There's nothing else there, so you might as well go
Nothing else there. I'm pissed off that the fucking band, I don't know who the band was, but if I did, I'd slander them.
Why?
I'd slag them off, as we say in my fucking country. For fucking, I gave them a great jacket, and they gave it to the owner or just left it behind.
But you benefited from that.
I know, but it's still kind of rude that I threw you a drunken offering of something I thought was special. Tell me some of your merch booth memories. Enough of this blather.
Well,
because Chaley has to deal with more of the merch booth shit than I do, because I'm only out there at the end. He's there all fucking night and has to deal with. And Chaley, people think he's an asshole. That's why I thought that whole almost stabbing last night was probably your fault at first.
not at all.
No, it wasn't. Chaley's not an asshole. He's a sweetheart. But I just sometimes, yeah. Go ahead.
But you get a lot of it at the merch booth, but Bingo and I tend to be accessible for much longer periods of time in front of people. And Bingo and I were talking about some of the things that people come up and say. And you said, when I write some of them down.
Chuck him at me.
Well, remember when you made mention of this? We were at the Alchemy Tavern in Mobile.
Yeah.
And
if we have time at the end of this, too, I have it on my computer, like a list of gigs. I'm going to just go through the places we played for other comics who want to fucking four-walling like this, like Louis Katz. Fucking Louis Katz. If you've seen me on this tour, Louis Katz is probably on the heels of it. So go to @Louis Katz on Twitter, or I don't know, fucking Louis Katz.
Is it Louis?
Yeah,
Louis?
it's spelled Louis. It's like Louis C.K. It's Louis Katz.
Well, the one thing I noticed was sometimes there's that person that you can see at the beginning of the show, and you know they're going to be a problem at the merch booth later because they're already.
Oh wait, sorry. Okay, get me back to Daytona Beach. Yes,
Oh well, yeah. This is
right.
before we started writing it down, but that guy exactly.
That was before Daytona Beach. It was a Monday night. It was at this old, weather-torn, hurricane survivor kind of 1960s resort on the top floor.
The penthouse lounge.
Yeah, the penthouse lounge on the 10th floor of the whatever fucking flamingo-ish. Like, it looked like it should have been called the Flamingo from 1960, and now it's just fucking destitute.
It's La Playa Resort.
La Playa Resort.
Yeah.
And it was all glass. Like, I hope it's dark when the show goes
Yeah.
on because it's all glass walls. Behind you is all glass. And it's maybe seats like 150 and there's probably fucking 80 people in it. Like, I couldn't even sell out the fucking La Playa destitute resort. I felt like I should be Bill Murray as the lounge singer from the old Saturday Night Live sketches in there. And I walk, there's no green room at all.
Well, no, they had the roof that they'd put a chair out
there
there.
was if I wanted to wait on the roof outside, there was a fire exit. I could stand on the roof and look through the fucking glass.
Which you could see 2 miles out into the Atlantic, and you're like, why would I want to sit out there and be like a
Yeah, I'm gonna
monkey in a
stand out there
cage?
like I'm at a fucking aquarium.
And he goes, well, when the sun goes down, these all the glass gets really dark, so you're gonna be out there like in the dark.
Standing in the
yourself.
dark,
And you
like
go-
Mr. Saturday Night in the rain outside that Chinese restaurant. So I'm standing like in this stairwell of the coming up from the hotel,
1 floor down.
and this guy, he's a giant man, but like not an intimidating guy. He was a businessy guy, but his shirt's untucked. He was what Hollywood would like if they wanted to make a normal looking guy look like an inebriate.
A conventioneer.
Yeah, with his shirt untucked, but all the cartoon classic Stanhope, and he's waving his arms up in the air, and just, like so sloppy shit faced at fucking 8:25 at night, and like Bingo had already warned me about him.
Yeah,
like this is one guy, he's going to be a problem. And then I went out and he saw me. And he's like, Stanhope. I go, I'm guessing that's a problem. So he's going into the men's room. I go into the showroom, hide in a dark corner of the bar, slouching by a pole. He comes back in, and I realize he's sitting right up front. So he sits and he slouches over like he doesn't know if he's going to holler or pass out. And like, I went on stage, and I had this guy slowly removed over the course of 10 minutes as though it were written into my set. I have done this and had that guy at so many shows that it was like doing an old bit to slowly have him removed.
That was great, the way you started it.
The movie Flight.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that movie with Denzel Washington, Flight, and it was a piece of shit? But the only great scene, other than the first plane crash in the beginning, is when John Goodman is brought back in to get Denzel Washington coked up enough to testify in Congress. I did a long version of this. I said, that's the only way this guy is going to make it through the show.
This guy needs to be John Goodman.
Yeah. And if John Goodman himself came in here and gave him blow, I still don't think he'd make it.
No.
But so I had a nice riff, but still, I'm only preparing the audience for the inevitable. And then at some point, he seemed to like drift off into his lap with his eyes still open. And the first time I had any bit of a pause in my set that was longer
Then a breath, like a quick breath. Yeah.
And then he walks up on stage. I'm like, see, told you. Fucking 8 minutes later, told you. He's on stage, and then his friends carrying him out. But it was so weird that I've been in that position so many times that it wasn't even questioning how, like, okay, this is part of my act, is this fucking guy. People say, it's a plant. No. It's basically a plant in that, I've had that happen.
You know how to handle it, whether
It's
he's there or
even,
not.
I know how to handle it. I've done that bit so many times where people didn't know it was a bit because they didn't know they were that drunk. You know what I miss is a lot of times this happens, and it bothers me when it doesn't, because generally, or a majority of the time, or some of the time enough, that guy will Facebook, email, tweet me, sorry, I was a dick. But not the fucking finger in the bullet hole chick or the fucking that guy have gone, hey, sorry, I was a big tit at your show.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was the story. I interrupted you.
No, but that's a good. I mean, the one that I had brought up was right after that in Mobile at the Alchemy Tavern. That gal who was with her husband, and she kept looking at you like she had to turn around to look at you through the window. You were out on the patio, and then I came back there right before you went on. I'm like, hey, is everything good? You need anything? And you're like, you see her? Watch, she's gonna turn around, and like you had cued her, she turned around, stared at you, and then turned back around, and she'd been doing that the whole time. And you go,
Let me
be a
color
problem.
this up for the listeners. This is another fucking green room on the Shit Town tour, which is not the Shit Town tour, but it might as well still be called the Shit Town tour. And again, it's a fine venue, but our green room was the back porch. So we're all out there smoking, and you can see the crowd. The stage is facing us, so the crowd should be facing the stage. But one girl has turned completely around, staring out the back window away from the stage, just staring at me for 55 minutes from the time I got there. And she's cute for the surroundings.
yes, Mobile cute.
Yeah, she's a Mobile hottie, and it just bothered me. And the governor, who's one of the opening local guys there, British guy, moved to Mobile. I said to him, I go, this is going to be a girl that will be a problem at the merch booth. She'll try to cut the line and thinks because she's cute for the town that rules don't apply to her. I fucking detailed it for him.
You gave him the same thing. You're like, we're basically telling anyone that was supposed to be out there, this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And every fucking beat of it I nailed. Where she didn't even wait for the merch booth. She barged out there after the show for my fucking cool off cigarette, and I made people go get the governor. Go downstairs and get governor, because it's exactly what I said is going to happen. Just from eyeballing her, it's going on right now. Mm-hmm. And then I had to run from her too. I had to run upstairs from the merch booth. Literally duck down and hide behind the upstairs bar because she was chasing.
We shut down the
Jesus
merch
Christ.
booth. We shut down the merch booth after her as well.
Yeah.
Because she came back, and then she would not get away from like clinging onto you for pictures. Like, no, another picture, another picture. She wasn't listening to anything, and then finally I just took the tarp or the sheet, threw up over the stuff, and I go, we're done. That's it. And then once again, people that had just bought some merchandise and were waiting are standing there going, what the fuck?
This brings us to the third one, and this is not even where. This was Wilmington, North Carolina, where the show is just, it felt fucking dead. It could be my fault.
City stage, the fifth floor.
I swear I taped from across the street. It has a very theater feel to it. It has a.
Oh, it's been there like 160
not
years.
like a different, like, not dinner theater, but like old school.
Old school, like stadium seating, like really severe stairway up.
Anyway,
really
it was.
cool.
There was nothing going on at the merch booth. I was, again, at the end of a week where I'm going, all right, let's just get done, go to bed. And there's a sparsely attended merch booth. And this woman, I've never felt like, I'm sure I have felt, but I don't remember it. A robust woman.
Rubenesque, if you will.
Not even Rubenesque. Ruben didn't paint women her age. She was this like lunch lady. She's a cafeteria lunch lady, and she came up, and there's not a lot of people in line.
Cafeteria-esque, if you will.
Yes, cafeteria-esque. And she said, "Can I get a picture?" And I go, "Yeah, of course." And her husband's gonna take it, and she goes, "Wait, what?" I don't want to ask, but what I need you to do is motorboat me, because whatever her boyfriend, husband guy always tells me that my breasts are so beautiful and that why not, they should be motorboarded. And I'm saying, like, I already think everyone hates me and they didn't like my show. It was not a great show in my head. And, it's all quiet afterwards. It's not a lot of hoopla, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm standing there at a very quiet merch booth going like a half-hearted just for a picture because it doesn't come out in a picture.
And how long do you do it?
It'll just be my head between your breasts. So motorboarding your breast doesn't come out.
In a picture, it looks like you fell into her breast. Same thing. There's just one. It's a frame.
It's like saying chatter your teeth for a picture. Well, that's not going to come out. It'll just be me in an awkward place. So I did it, and then it's all quiet because everyone's kind of the few people that are there are going, "Why is he doing this?" So everyone there's this pregnant pause of awkwardness, and then he says, "Oh wait, the flash wasn't on." So now I have to do it again after I just I'm awash with the hideousness of I just did that. Like I'm standing at horror merch booth position anyway. Then I'm motorboarding this woman with a very skewed sense of her own self-worth and self-esteem. And then I have to do it
Again,
twice.
Take two.
Cut. I didn't do it good enough.
You know, I was just thinking what that must look like to someone across the bar looking over at Stanhope just with his face buried in that flesh.
But a sad look on my face.
Yeah. Like you're reticent to do it to begin with. And they're like, that poor sad man.
Exactly.
Look at him. This is all he's not even enjoying it. Who could?
What else you got?
Yeah, that was good. I forgot about her. That was sad.
I try to take notes on these tours.
God.
People say, "What's the tour been like?" And I'd have to sit down and physically look at a calendar to remember shit. It all
and still, it's not. We're trying to remember the name of the ER doctor. Who got us there.
He probably doesn't need
Dr.
his
Brian.
name dropped.
His name's Dr. Brian.
Good.
Okay.
That's all we need. Is
We'll see him in Nashville.
Yes.
Yeah. He wrote us a prescription and then insisted on taking us to dinner in Nashville. Okay, I don't
It's
know.
a fucking fun life.
It is.
But it's only fun to bitch about.
Yeah, I mean, no one's bitching about it. We
I
love
know,
this.
but
This
it's
is great.
again.
But
I always talk about this because we relentlessly listen to Bill Burr's podcast on the road. Like we'll go on these massive, 3, 4, 5 week tours where all we do is listen to fucking podcasts. So it's like we were 4 months behind on Bill Burr. So. Okay, we got 4 months of Bill Burr all in a row every drive, and he's always fucking happy. Hey, thanks for coming out to the thing. You fucking with the ladies, and it was a great time, and everyone was so nice, and I got to see this majestic theater and fucking cocksuckers. Oh, what great food! And my tours are always like that fucking venue, these fucking monsters. That place, my foot went through the floorboard in the green room. Everything stinks.
no, that one place they gave me a merch table, and I would go to lift it up and turn it over, and it had been sitting in a puddle, like a puddle that never dries out on the back dock of a restaurant.
Oh, and it spilled all over your suit.
Smeared black sludge on my suit. I was dry heaving, trying to hold it in. And I'm like, what? Who fucking brings in a dirty table?
Last night I'm closing up, and this is the Handlebar in Pensacola. It's just this small box of a place, and you're just sitting there by the door. And I go, "You're not selling merch tonight? Were you taking a night off? Because I don't give a fuck if you don't. That's your money."
Yeah.
So and you go. Because you're sitting at a table that would be the merch table, and then you just rocked it, and it's like you're holding it up. It was like it was a weeble wobble, and you go.
I touched it, and it like tilted over like it was a Universal Studios prop from an earthquake or something. It just like and it fell on the other one. It's like
you were showing me that you have to wait for another table to open up to set up merch,
or try and fix that one.
But just saying, you're not selling merch, and you go wonk 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 wonk. Oh, I get it.
Didn't say a word. Didn't even look at the table. I just knew where to touch it.
The weird thing is, generally on these shows, I fucking love working these kind of rooms because it feels like my element.
No, I got to tell you, last night, notwithstanding the almost assault that happened, everyone was really stoked that you were there. People drove. There were some people from Alabama who drove past 2 of the other gigs we've done in the area to go to this one. Drove 3 hours.
That always kind of puts me in check. Where if when I check my Twitter before the show, and someone was like, "Hey, just drove 3 hours waiting for the," and I'm like,
That's
"Ah,
longer than
fuck."
we drove.
Like I can't. Like you used to have gigs where you're like, I'm just phoning this piece of shit in because you think it doesn't matter, and now you know. Well, there's one guy. There was one of these gigs. Oh, New Orleans. A guy flew in from Sweden.
Oh wow!
I'm like, great. Now I have to try. Yeah, you know what? That guy wasn't a cunt at the fucking merch booth either. That guy just tweeted and left. I just assumed that means you hated the show and it wasn't worth the trip. Go ahead. What else you got?
There was another guy who was bugging me. This was also at the Alchemy Tavern, which is a great venue. They're just starting to get their comedy going there. But
Hey, I like that place.
yeah, the owner really, he's trying to change it from this is John Taffer Bar Rescue. The place was set up for a fucking dance club. That's why it's set up for like speed drinks, all the way around. And I'm like, if you just move that bar against the wall, you have perfect seating in like an L.
Oh, by the way, this is the place that I'm going to use this in my act because it's not gonna build into a bit. It's just the quote of the tour so far is right next to that place in Mobile, Alabama, was this thrift salvage shop. And I found a pair of fucking cool plaid vintage pants, but they're not sized. So I went up to the guy at the fucking counter and I said, "Hey, listen, do you have a tape measure so I can measure the waist?" And he goes, and it was such a look of confusion. Said, "Well, I got one for furniture, but I don't have one for clothing." And he said it in such a way that I thought for a second I was the idiot.
You didn't know what he was talking. Yeah.
Like I didn't know there's two different. I'll use the furniture one, okay?
We'll see if we can get by. So
Go
at Alchemy Tavern, there was another guy who was like, he was big. I mean, he was like wrestler big. I mean, he was a big guy who came, right up the steps, and like this was like I think his second comedy show he'd ever been to, and I think he was with his mother or something. I shouldn't say that. I don't know who the fuck it was.
We're not going back.
Right. Well, they're hanging out.
Probably are.
They're hanging out, and you just went on. I don't think you were on for more than 15 minutes, and she has been out twice already to smoke, out on this little landing where I was doing the will call tickets and stuff. So then he comes out, and he doesn't smoke, but he's standing there. And this guy is huge, right? And he asked me, how do I get in touch with this guy? How do I? And I go, well, Doug's pretty accessible. You can get Doug at DougStanhope.com. No, how do I smell money when I see this guy. I smell money. I go, I don't really, sir. I don't know what that means.
I smell money.
You want to contact him for a show? He goes, look, I know money. I know how to make money. I see him and I see money. I need a piece of this guy. And I go,
I need a piece of this.
I swear to God, I wrote it down in my book. I want a piece of this guy. And then remember,
In Mobile, Alabama.
You've only been on.
He smells money.
You've been on 15 minutes. Now he was out, and I don't.
That's
think he spent no time in the show. He was just out there most of the time, following me, asking me, like anytime I saw him looking at me, I knew he was coming over.
Where's my stapler guy? What's the
Office
actor's
Space.
name? Yeah, but what's the actor's name? Fuck, he's great. Stephen Root.
Okay,
That's him in with the goddamn. I fucking hate my lack of references. He was the radio station guy in the movie with George Clooney. If I was on stage, I'd just give up trying to find this reference right now.
the radio station guy.
You know, Soggy Bottom Boys, Man of Constant Sorrow.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who was on News Radio.
Yeah. Yeah, but he plays the radio station guy where they do the fucking Man of Constant Sorrow.
Yeah.
Like, he smells money.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a long way to fucking
Nothing.
go.
Yeah.
Only because my brain is a failure.
So he kept insisting that somehow I was holding back information, and I said, are you talking about a booking? Is that what you want to do? But he wouldn't. So I knew he didn't know anything about booking because he would say, hey, do you have this guy's agent or a manager or something like that? I go, well, Brian Hennigan is the person that you want to contact, and it's that same email address. And he just said the same thing. look, you're an asshole. I like you. You're an asshole, but I need a piece of this guy. I need it, and I'm like, I really don't know what to tell you, but at the same time, I'm afraid of him. He's big, and I think he would kill me just because I didn't understand him.
Maybe we should go public like the Green Bay Packers. Have everyone own a piece of me.
Own a piece of you? Boy, you'd have to do some real crazy shows.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, hold on.
eBay yard sale. Go ahead.
One more thing. I did find out from the owner of the Alchemy Tavern that guy wasn't only bugging me. The owner of the Alchemy Tavern kept him away from me as much as he could. And then, at one point, he saw the big guy saw a Bacardi, like a promotional flag that's hanging on this like double high ceiling, in this building. And he told the owner of the club that he wanted that because he wanted it for a cape. And the owner goes,
I smell money when I see it. A Bacardi cape. I'm going to be rolling in it wearing my Bacardi cape.
The way he said it was, I'm going to use it for my cape. Like we all have a cape and we all figure out our own fabric that we're going to use. This is what he's going to use. And the owner of the club goes, I went right over and got a ladder myself, and he handed me $40. And I go,
because the owner can smell money too.
The owner can smell money.
eBay yard sale. Yeah, listen, I'm so fucked on the road. We just are in a constant state of where's our shit. We fucking drive hours and hours to a show. We get in, we hit a thrift store, get to a hotel, get to the gig. I talk, I get drunk, we come back. Shit's everywhere. We wake up, they're going, it's checkout. We steal some more Bibles, throw all our shit in a car. Oh, wait, what does this go? Well, just chuck it in there for now, and then we'll figure it out. And we never figure it out. So we're just in a constant state of disrepair, and one shoe's under the front seat, and one's in one of the several bags in the back of the fucking van. So, yeah, eBay yard sale evidently went real well. And so maybe you own a piece of me. My dumb fucking vintage shop, thrift store shit that's clogged up my place and I'm done with. Next time we do, we're going to give a chunk of that to some kind of weird charitable effort. It won't be a charity. Don't fucking email me. Well, you know what? I have gout and I don't have insurance. Fuck you. We're going to find someone weird like Rebecca Vitzman from The Tornado and we'll do something. But that's not going to happen till I get home, so I'm not even looking for it. If you have suggestions, yes, but not you or your friend.
An unselfish suggestion.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll do that at its time. And next time, the next eBay yard sale will be the Uber hoarder of the family, Bingo. So, yeah, it'll be for the ladies because she's got the fucking craziest costumes, but she has so many. And you know what? I can't really fucking have another house just to put fucking her shit in. So, yeah, we're going to de-hoard Bingo next, but that won't be for a while. What else we got? I got notes. I got questions. This is what I was going to say before, or I did say before. But, yeah, I put the questions on the Facebook that goes to the Twitter. So the Twitter questions got precedent, and then I fucking picked a few out of Facebook until I got tired of all the fucking nonsense that goes on between comments that matter. So let me pull up the questions. Could you address anything Massachusetts related? I'm paraphrasing. Can you address anything MA? I know how much it sucks balls, but I love hearing how my fave started here. Listen to the Bill Burr podcast, because I left there as soon as I could. I don't remember anything. It stunk. And this is another. I'm just going to blow through some of these. Did you talk about patent trolls yet? Patent, not patent like Oswald. Patent trolls, like the one trying to say he invented podcasting in the mid-'90s. From Jim Snyder. That's Adam Carolla's thing. Go fucking Google search that. It's important. It's not my thing. I have not done enough research, but yeah, it's a fucking problem. So yeah, the fucking the killer termites. What are they called? Yes. Yeah, they should be on top of that fucking guy making his life miserable.
Personal audio, I believe, is the group that's claiming they invented podcasting.
Do you remember me? I was at the show in Philly in 2009. I was the one laughing from Mr. Tug. That was a running joke from today, where some guy from Minneapolis said, "Hey, do you remember me? I was at your show. I was wearing the Guantanamo Bay T-shirt in 2007, and I talked to you." And I'm like, so I just been fucking with this guy all day. Here, but what I'm getting at
So
is,
be careful with the questions.
I have been doing this. I used to use the analogy years ago I don't remember you. I don't remember shit. I don't remember things I've done. I've forgotten the names of family members, and I only have 8 or maybe 7 of my entire extended family. And I've forgotten one of their names for a long enough beat that I think I'm losing my mind, because I couldn't remember my cousin Denise's fucking name, and she's one of 3 cousins, and I only have one brother and his 2 kids. Yeah, I think 6 family members I have alive, and all the family that I know I have, and I forgot. So I don't remember you from 2007 if we were really good friends, because in comedy, you make friends for a night or a week, and maybe you see them once every year or 2 at best, and then they disappear into the woodwork, and then you have new friends for this chunk of years. It's the same as if I went to my entire public schooling and then college and then doctorate fucking, where I was drunk every fucking day and went to a different school every fucking week. And you go, "Hey, remember me from 9th grade? I went to a lot of 9th grades and I was drunk." No. So, yes, I don't remember you, but don't take it personal. I didn't remember Denise. She's my cousin. All right. Blah, blah, blah. There's a good one coming up. Fucking Wesley sent a good one. You rightly... Oh, Bingo's vomiting and the fucking cord won't... Why did you... If you're only taking a shit, why did you go... Ah!
I burped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, this is my opinion on Scotland independence. And I go, yes, I'm for it, because I think, yes, you should, boil it down to, and then your neighborhood should be independent from the fucking, and then your street from the other streets, and then your house. Then, we should all be fucking independent. That's a quick answer to that. Hot sauce. This is one that I'm fucking passionate about. Hot sauce, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Can we talk? That's from Joe Frazier. This was my note to myself. Tabasco strategy.
Strategy?
Well, yeah, we were talking about. I have it's a common refrain in my tweets. Anytime I wake up in the morning, I hate everything in the world. I hate myself so much when I wake up hungover that I have to find outlets of other things that I hate to fucking pawn that off on. And Tabasco, when I have to go to breakfast and Tabasco is the only hot sauce, somehow they monopolized a lot of the places, all the markets that don't think hot sauce is important. And it is. Condiments are very important. We've discussed it. Yes, so I will constantly tweet, "Fuck Tabasco. Tabasco sucks" is the hashtag. Hashtag Tabasco sucks. And for however I can rephrase it, and I will continue to do that till you at least have one choice other than Tabasco everywhere.
Like a Chilero or a Texas Pete's.
Sriracha is the one that... this
yeah.
fucking polarizes people. Every time I put Tabasco sucks up there, it polarizes people. Sriracha is the one that most people come back with, which I only use sriracha on shrimp tempura sushi. Not against it.
There was somewhere recently we went, I think it was fast food, that they had... Oh, Subway now has a creamy sriracha.
Yeah.
Which I thought was delicious.
For a limited time only, and it doesn't...
Oh, really?
You can't buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
either way,
it's good.
Fucking sriracha and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
But there's a green Tabasco. I hate to admit, green Tabasco I fucking love, but I'm not going to let them off the hook just because they have this. Yeah, we'll get green Tabasco everywhere, and I stop fucking trying to destroy you as a one-man army trying to destroy Tabascos. It's fucking awful. Chilero's fine. Tapatio, I think, is just as good. I will take the plastic jug vodka argument to the Tapatio versus Cholula. The difference between them is about this much. What you're paying for with Cholula is a wooden cap. And you're paying 5 times as much for Cholula as you would for Tapatio. A big Tapatio is like $1.75 or something. So, yeah, it's not bad.
By the way, all of these that you've mentioned are usually available at the dollar store.
Right. Yeah. I've found great hot sauce. Anything that says habanero in it is usually good. Chilero, I will import from Costa Rica. Banquet Chilero that in Costa Rica costs like a hangnail. It's nothing. I to get a 12-pack because that's the minimum. I pay like fucking $25.
You actually get the stuff that they import?
Yeah, that shit banquet. You know, banquet frozen dinners?
Yeah.
Like, if you can't afford food, you can afford banquet frozen fucking dinners. It's that brand, but it's great. There's just, Tabasco's the only one that I hate. So when people go, hey, well, you know, who's your dog in this fight? All of them except fucking red Tabasco is fucking garbage. It's shit. And, yeah, thank you for, okay, that's that. But, yeah, I'll take, I should make a lineup.
Your top 10?
Texas Pete's not bad.
No?
Louisiana hot sauce, not bad. It's great on chili dogs.
So you do like a vinegary-based hot sauce. You just don't like...
Tabasco is
Tabasco.
fucking awful.
Yeah.
It's just burning with no flavor.
Okay.
It's yeah, you might as well lick an ointment that you found that was an expired prescription. Yeah, well, all right. You've said Bingo's taking a shit, so I'll let her answer this. She's ready when she comes back. I like this. This hopefully will be dated by the time Chaley does too much editing on this and puts it out. Do you think the missing Malaysian jet is a ruse to place NATO warships all over that part of the world in preparation for World War III? I started reading that as a goof, but you go, hey, that's a great fucking conspiracy.
Yeah.
Because no one should give a shit, this much of a shit about this flight for over a month, like a month and a half. CNN, nothing. Like they lost fucking money on that plane on Malaysian Airlines flight. Who gives a fuck? They're just constant round-the-clock footage. And you go, there's no reason to care this much. And you look for that's a great conspiracy theory. If I were fucking doing methamphetamine for 4 days, I would go, that sounds so goddamn accurate, and I'd be out there preaching it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. So, I that's whoever wrote that. That was Brian Dates on Facebook. Yeah, that was, I like that. But I won't go, yeah.
No, you've started it now.
Well,
now we'll go.
I just enjoy that fucking theory. I like figuring out any way that this is all about to fall down without it being my fault. That's why I like conspiracy theories. I want the fucking world to end. I want us all to end up in FEMA camps where it's not my fault. I don't want to end up in a fucking camp by myself going, hey, I thought we were all going down. Tour plans. Everyone, listen. Everyone has asked this question. Is when am I coming where? UK, our plan is late this year. We don't know when. We're trying to, it's not as easy as booking the States where we just, dial random numbers and get a gig. So we got to get this shit right. Last time I was in the UK, fucking not a good fucking situation. 7 weeks.
2 years ago?
Places, yeah.
2000.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So, yeah, we want to avoid the pitfalls of last time and make it quick and succinct and nice. I don't want to... You don't want to see me in the condition I'm in right now. 2 weeks in the UK, fucking hit all the big cities, try to get near you. I'm not going to play fucking Sir Lancelot just because it's fucking 20 miles outside of a real city. So, yeah, that. Australia, we're working on. We have never found a fucking booker worth his salt. Talking to some people that I'm trying to do a tour. I don't want to just do Sydney. I want to go to different places, but the fucking deal has to be right. So yeah, contact my website under the contact page under business submissions, and let Brian Hennigan, the filthy uncut Scotsman, sort it out. As far as your town, I generally go on a 18-month, roughly 1 year to 18-month rotation. So if I haven't been there in 18 months, I'm probably coming there in the States. And Europe will probably tag on Scandinavia and those other places I played onto the UK. And I'll be there. I'm coming. I swear to fucking Christ. I probably won't play all those weird places that you go, hey, I'm working on South Africa. Martin Evans, I'm calling you out. You fucking keep cock teasing me with you're going to get me there. I'd love to tape a special. I have one waiting in the winds that I'd love to tape in South Africa because I want to tape it in a place that people haven't heard it. Now, all right, now the train and rain is getting real loud, so I'm going to have to shut this door down. John Wessling, I love this question. He's a comic. I know him. And when I asked for questions, he says, I'm really tired. All right, let's open with, because I asked for questions on Facebook and Twitter, people kept saying, Otto and George. Talk about Otto Peterson, Otto and George. And I'm like, why is everyone asking about, that's how I found out he fucking died today, is all these Otto Peterson. Otto and George was this incredible, beautifully flawed ventriloquist act in that he was a really shitty ventriloquist, which made it funnier. But the most, probably the most obscene, I hate to use the wrong word, but the filthiest fucking act I've ever seen. Worse than Dice Clay. Someone who's that caustic. Madonna was such a fucking whore. Her pussy had a drawstring like a laundry bag. Did you ever see a black vagina? It looked like a wallet. Lady spread her legs. I'm doing such an injustice. Don't haunt my fucking room. Otto. She spread her legs, a fucking bus pass, and some change fell out. Lady, you dropped your visa. Oh. But yeah, he's a fucking brilliant comic, and he's fucking dead. And yes, no one had him in the death pool, even though he did he was in a coma last year from meningitis.
Oh wow.
And still no one had him in the fucking death pool, and that shows do your research, kids. Anyway, yes, he's a fucking fantastic comic. We talked about him in the Dorfman podcast. So if you want to hear that story, and I only saw him a couple times. One of the times is when Bingo and I got together at the beginning there in Montreal, and my goodness, your gut's sticking out like mine is. All right, let me get to this John Wessling question, and we'll get the hell out because it says. Getting really tired of seeing guys die or get sick, and then it's immediately followed by a fundraiser for bills or funeral. Shameful that we don't have a union as comics that at least can provide basic medical. Even more shameful how many comics are multi-millionaires who do nothing to help our cause. John Wessling. And I'll say, John, no fucking way. Are you kidding? Comedy union. I've tried to find an analogy once when I used to talk shit about unions, but unions. Do you quantify how many comedians suck shit, and tell me if you want to fucking pay their way? I mean, comics. How many First of all, how do you decide? I should have done this question right off the top when I was a little more lucid. How do you decide who is technically a comedian? Because I live in the closest comedy club to me is in Tucson, where they have two nights a week. They do Friday, Saturday. I think only one show Friday, 2 Saturday, but they do an open mic. There's 40 fucking guys on it.
Oh.
Are they all comics? Are we all putting in the fucking kitty for, yeah, I'm a comic and now I've fucking lost my legs to diabetes or sleeping on a railroad track. So I'm going to hit the fucking kitty that you, toiling road comic, Louis Katz. Louis Katz is a fucking great comic. I've worked with him a bunch. We have a lot of stories. He opened for No Refunds on that Showtime special. He's coming here, not even to the shithole where I worked last night in Pensacola. The bar at our Days Inn. It's a day drinkers fucking rummy bar that should not ever have... Like, it's not deserving of the jukebox it owns, much less live entertainment. It's a great place to get shit-faced during the day and stumble out to the pool. He's playing there, and it says fucking donations for the headlining act strongly encouraged. Because he's that fucking dedicated. He's like, I called him up. I go, do you know the place you're playing? He goes, no, I don't know. I'm just doing shit. He says, I need to do fucking gigs. I need to get out there. So he's willing to take a bad beat like this. And you see the fucking guys. I know guys that are great that they just won't even pick up a phone. And this guy's coming down here on spec going, hey, I'll take the warning calls saying, from the day drunk that was there before me, going, they don't even have a stage in this place. They have a 10-foot pit that's supposed to be a dance floor, and they say they put the people in there and put the comic on top of it at the brass rail.
How weird is that?
He's like, I just want to do gigs. You want to take that dedication from one guy and make him pay fucking union dues to 1,000 shitheads who think because they did Evening at the Improv in 1988, they should get fucking new feet because they drank themselves into oblivion? No, I don't think so. Unless you can come up with some set pattern of rules. I'll help out a guy that I fucking know the guy, a.k.a. Sean Rouse. And that's even another kick in the ball. Sean Rouse, probably the funniest guy that I know that came up, after I did. And yeah, he's a fucking mutant wreck, but it's self-inflicted for the most part. So, and I'll even chuck him fucking money when he needs some, and I'll one day do a benefit for him. Not his kid. Not his kid. When you fucking die, Rouse, that's it. I don't give a shit about your family. They ain't funny. You are. So yeah, I'll kick in a few bucks for you. But if that were taken out of my pocket because I had to join some bullshit after a union, I'm SAG-AFTRA, and they send me bills all the time. I don't know for what, and I'll call them up because I have to be in a union. If you do television work, you have to be in that fucking union. So when they send me a bill, every time I will call them up and say, I just got this bill for whatever, how much money for my union dues. I was wondering, what is that for? They go, it's union dues. No, I mean, what do you do for me? And I've never had anyone that can even fake an answer. Well, you'd have to talk to, you mean you bill me, but you can't tell me what for. The power company sends me a power, and if I say, what's it for? They go, those fucking lights over your head.
Yeah.
But you do what? What exactly do you fucking do for me? I just see the word union. It's a fucking good question, John, but just I see the word union, and then I think of every shitball comic that would be in on the fucking pool that do nothing, and I go, fuck them. Let them have a fundraiser, and that way it's kind of laissez-faire economics. Hey, you know what? You have a fundraiser, have your fans do it. How many people did you amuse? Yes, let the people you amuse do it. Don't say, well, I'm a comic. I run a comedy class now because I was on television in 1983 during a sketch, and now I just tweet people relentlessly trying to get them to promote my fucking comedy class using fucking that sketch comedy thing as a credit. No names mentioned.
I was going to say, sounds pretty specific.
Yeah, it was pretty specific from last night. It was one of those things where I was drunk and miserable, and I go, I'll just shut my mouth. Yeah. Let the people that saw you on that program in 1983 pay your fucking way, or the people who took your comedy class. And yeah. Okay, so that's the podcast, and go to DougStanhope.com and sign the mailing list, for fuck's sake, because eventually Facebook and Twitter will go the way of MySpace, and if you have no way for me to get a hold of you, go to just fill out the mailing list at DougStanhope.com, and that's that. Dates are up there. We got June coming up. We'll be doing a West Coast tour from Southern California up through Seattle. Hopefully, it's not booked yet, definite, but we'll get somewhere up there. So yeah, West Coast time zone, June. After that, we don't know. So yeah, Australia. Hopefully, one day, if anyone's worth their salt. UK later. That's the podcast. Hang on, let me just check. This podcast is sponsored by Louis Katz. That's LOUISKATZ. Louis Katz. Find him. He's doing these same fucking gigs I am. He's out there fucking gutting it out like a fucking hero. Funny guy. Let me do damage to one of his old bits, because if he's still using it 7 years later, fuck him. I'll eviscerate it. But it was to do with having a threesome where the girls, but they weren't really that attractive. So it was more of like a menage. Ugh. I'm not doing it as good as him. He's fucking funny. Oh, Bingo's just woke up. Now she wants on the mic. Oh, you know what I didn't do, and I will do that if you care. Fucking email me or tweet me. I want the next podcast. I got to list good fucking venues for guys like Louis Katz who are out there just trying to four-wall their own deals, because you don't have to wait for a comedy club to book you if you're willing to do this shit.
We're actually only 16 gigs into 31 shows.
So I'm coming there sometime. Check my dates on DougStanhope.com. Sign the mailing list while you're there, and next time I am near you, I'll let you know. Goodbye. Play the Matoid.
Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. Dance your dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Yeah. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Yeah. Party time. Party time. Yeah. Party time. 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 Hey.